Hi, I'm back. Uh, I'll just give folks a couple minutes on this day 41. All of a sudden, the video just ended, so I'm not sure what happened there. It said something to do with my connection. So anyways, I'm back. And just continuing on with this story about stem cell collection, just briefly. All of my, in this harvesting process, when I'd be hooked up to the machine, the machine, for like 6 hours straight, my total body's blood volume ran through the machine 4 times. So like all the blood in my body made 4 complete journeys through this machine to spin it, collect the stem cells, and then put the blood back into my body. So it was very disrupted. It's like, oh yeah, my blood's just trying to settle and sort itself after, all that movement out of the body, through the machine, back in the body. It's like everyone's displaced. All my cells were displaced, and creates a lot of fatigue. So anyways, I'll try not to go on and on too much because I am kind of tired, and that's what happens when I'm tired. I just blah, blah, blah. So give me the proverbial cane. But in the wake of my tiredness today, I was thinking about life, and if we don't have to figure anything out, what do we need to do? And more specifically, I was thinking about time and how, if we're not making goals, what keeps us moving forward, and reflecting on in my life, this timeline. It seems so solid, right? Oh, this is the process. You do this and this and this, and then we harvest, and then you take a break, and then we admit you, and then there's a stem cell. And my mind has been already like focusing on the future with regards to this treatment plan, which is the exact opposite of how I was trying to live my life before Big D-Day, and for the first few months when I thought I wasn't going to live. It was very easy to stay in the present moment and stay focused on what was important in those first few months. But since this transplant train has been derailed a few times, I caught myself today realizing how much I'm focusing on the future in regards to this timeline, rather than staying present with just today. It's like, wow, how quickly, how when we and this is related to hope and the future and something to look forward to. And I've found myself thinking that I'm looking forward to this process. And today I asked myself, why? Why are you looking forward to something that you know is going to be not necessarily pleasant? It's like, well, I can do hard things. I can go through suffering. That's not a problem for me. I know that good things often exist on the other side of suffering. We go through tragedy and we come out with all the silver linings and pearls that we gathered along the way. And it's like, you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy, but you go, wow, that was an amazing time in my life. And I know that that's what this is too, but I'm missing it by focusing on and thinking that I've got something to look forward to in these stem cell transplants, rather than really drinking in what I already have right now. And what I have right now that I've recovered from that last chemo and, the hardships that came with the failed transplant and the hospital stay and the fever and all that stuff that went on for me, is I've got some vitality right now, and I've got some treatment-free days now that the harvest is complete, because today we got the rest of the stem cells that we need. In the best case scenario, we've got more than we need, and I'm so thrilled with that. But I'm not going to focus on what is coming next, because that's the trap. And if things don't go according to plan, as they haven't gone according to plan for the last 2.5 months, there have been curveballs within the curveballs all along the way. And that's where I get into this emotional roller coaster of, and maybe you find yourself doing this, like the expectation and disappointment, because expectation breeds disappointment. If we expect something and it doesn't work out the way we expect it to, then often we're left with a negative feeling of, and it's like, will I have a stem cell transplant? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. All I can do, and what I want to do, is show up and in the moment. And that's what and then I had this realization. So thinking about this timeline and this trap almost that's sucking me out of the present moment and into the future, is this pseudo timeline that has changed so many times already, yet still I'm kind of like grasping onto it for something, for some reason. Maybe it's inherent in our humanness. I'm just sitting with all this, with the humanity of it all. But inviting my wisdom back in, my divinity and what I believe in and what I know, the whole aspect of me, my spirituality and my mind view and my world view, back into this kind of trap of this timeline, and to help me look forward to living while staying present in life, because living is in the future, but life is right now. My breath is right now. I'm right now. I'm showing up. You're showing up. We're here right now. This might be all we ever get. This might be it. There might not be a tomorrow for me or you. And we don't know that exactly. So I'm just letting go of the timeline, enjoying what is right now, which is me feeling pretty good and relieved at this harvest being done. It's just like, how do the farmers feel when they, hang up their combine for the season? Like, there's got to be some relief there before they go, okay, what's next? We got to start planning the seeds we're going to plant next year. There's got to be some reprieve there, and I'm hoping to rest in that, because showing up for whatever is happening gets us a pretty good mark in life, showing up. And then that I used to say to my yoga teacher trainees, the people who would come and move through the training I developed, the 9 months, was, you have to show up. You have to come to every session. That's 80%. You get 80% just for showing up. And I think the other 20% is a range of how present we are. So if we want to get 100%, which who doesn't want 100%? Who doesn't want to ace life in some way? It's about being present. And even with these lives, when I am thinking about a trajectory of stories or and tomorrow I'll talk about that. It's like it takes me out of the present moment. It takes me out of this moment right here, right now, with you, with me showing up for me. And somehow my mind made this whole correlation between everything I've talked about and this concept of showing up in life and the intention behind these lives. And I realized that my mind was trying to attach a worthwhile reason for doing them, to document these stories from the past for, well, that's a good reason. My mind was thinking for me to show up every day at 7:00 and focus on something specific, like a story. When what I saw today was just the slight illusion in that, or delusion, or dishonesty in that. It's like, really, what these 7:00 lives are for me is just showing up as me, for me, with you, and I'm grateful for that. But there doesn't have to be even another reason, a good reason. Like, I want to document this journey. I need to attach some kind of reason. But really what I need and what purpose this is serving is it's just giving me something to show up to. On even my worst days, on my best days, my worst days, and trying to show up as the best I can be. Not fake or authentically, yet pulling up my potential and just showing up. And if I just get 80%, I'm happy with that. I'm not looking for 100% right now with you. I'm looking for real. I'm looking for authentic. I'm looking for accountability for myself. I'm looking for company as a bonus. And if stories spill out that enrich my daughter's lives in the future, great. And if not, that's okay too. Like, so I'm not going to pre-plan things and these and what I'm going to say, and I'll respond to questions that come in, but I don't know, off the cuff kind of present moment monologue, dialogue. I feel like I'm talking with you, unscripted, unrehearsed improv is what interests me most. And I don't know what that's going to look like every day. None of us do, but 7:00, I'm going to, just like Groundhog Day, okay, what am I doing today? How am I feeling today? What's on my mind today? What question came in today? What is now about for me, for you? I don't know. Any thoughts? Like, just a little bit messed up with this timeline thing today, and found myself, like I said, distracting myself with thoughts about the future. Like, what's the next step? Oh, it's not, hospital. Maybe they're going to check my blood one more time. And then they're going to admit me. And then what? And then what? And then what? I want to get on with it. It's like, well, I am on with it. I want to be on now. In case, October 5th doesn't come for some, like, who knows? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. And there's that story that I've referred to many times, and you've probably heard it, but you can go Google it. Google the We'll See story about a man, a farmer, and a horse and his son. And it's this story that keeps going, and the farmer's response every time is, "We'll see." "Oh, it's so horrible that your son broke his leg." "Is it? We'll see." You might know the story. It's such a good one, and it's so many. And I was listening to a talk with of Ruth Bader Ginsburg today, just a little 6-minute clip, and she was talking about optimism and where does hope come from in these dire times. And she said, well, from her perspective, it comes from living a long time and seeing how really awful things, how good can come from them. And yeah, we've all experienced that, and the longer we live, unfortunately, the more hardship we do go through, but we learn that that's where the real gifts in life can often really come, is through overcoming some kind of obstacle or challenge or opportunity for stretching and finding out who we really are. Anyways, just some random thoughts that were coming to me today, and I'm quietly celebrating the fact that harvest is complete and it was successful this time, and I'm so grateful for that. So thank you for your thoughts and prayers. I know there was a lot of people holding numbers and seeing my stem cells doing their thing in a magnified way, and it all worked. And I've got, like I said, I've got enough for both transplants, frozen on ice, waiting for their moment when they'll be reintroduced to my body. So we'll see if that happens. We'll see. I'm just reading a note from Aditi. Aditi's your dad. Anyways, pardon me. You know, and maybe you feel this way too. Like you start seeing people's, like maybe you start thinking of me as being, instead of Jan, I'm that Jan I am, because that's my Instagram handle. It's just like I forget what people's real names are because I see them on social media, and this is a sad thing about our current culture and COVID and everything else, is that we don't see each other in person anymore. And it's like, oh yeah, what's your real name? Does anyone relate to that? Adi has said, and correct me if I'm getting your name wrong, it resonated when you said being alive versus thinking about living. Being present is so hard in this world view culture. Yeah. And our attention is our most precious commodity, and everyone wants it. And Aditi. Okay, Aditi. Okay, what's your dad's name then? Maybe he's Adi. Help me out. I know your mom's name, but yeah, it is challenging, and that's why we have to be very determined in our commitment to carving out certain periods of time where we don't allow anyone else to have our attention, including our own thoughts. Yeah, okay, I was getting you mixed. Aditi and Adi is your dad. Okay, I'm on the right track. Thank you. Jeez. So anyways, I wouldn't mind hearing your thoughts about all of that, but you know, our personal power, our attention, our staying close to our hearts, our showing up unapologetically, fearlessly, courageously, vulnerably, authentically, in as many moments as we can. That's what it's going to take to stay connected to wisdom, truth, and knowledge, and our own power, our own sense of power, so that we don't blindly follow. It's the most important thing we can do every single day, is spend some time with ourselves in our own energy, breathing, connecting to that place of sanctity that is within us, where there is no advertising, there is no hidden agenda, there is no fake news, there are no algorithms feeding our brains and our minds and luring us to collective thought reprogramming. Yeah, the revolution begins within, right? The kingdom of God is within, the inner temple, the inner castle, the inner, it's where it's at. So yeah, it's true. It's very challenging in our current culture to unplug and stay connected to the present moment, but most of what we're plugging into is somebody else's idea of what we're looking for and what we want to hear. And whether it's true or not, how do you know? And who's got the time to research that? It's way more time efficient to go clear your mind, listen to your heart, in my opinion, and a lot more fun than listening to the news. Here I am, see? Tired, blah, blah, blah. So, to be continued. If you want to hear me talk about certain things, if it's not a question, if you want to hear my thoughts and opinions and ramblings on something, let me know. If not, I'm just gonna show up and see what comes out on any given day. And today, well, this is what came out. And yeah, good night, Aditi. Thank you. I'm gonna say good night too. Love you.